Hello y'all, and welcome to my world. My name is Gabrielle, and today I am going to show you how to make a beaded bookmark. The elements I am using tonight will be these blue-green seed beads. They're not fancy, they're just simple. You can pick them up at any AC Moore or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And we are going to be using these amber colored larger seed beads. Again, these ones are silver lined inside. For the bottom, I have put together this little flower with a gemstone and a little leaf, and I have this jump ring right here, which will be for hanging it. My personal preference for line is fire line. I prefer an 8-pound test normally for most of my work with beading, whether it's weaving or something simple. It's just it makes for a stronger piece. So plus it'll actually go through the tiny little hole of my tiny little needle. So this is a beading needle. This is a 12 gauge, and you have to actually flatten the end of the string to put it through. I should probably show you how to do that first, so I'm going to unthread my string from my needle, and let's see if I can show you. I've already flattened it. I just take it between my thumbnail and my pointer and pull it down until it flattens it some. And then I'm trying to show y'all how to do this. There we go. We slide it right through. Normally it's a very quick thing. Okay, so for the bottom, well, technically the top, I chose this kind of champagne color mother of pearl. Doesn't seem to be showing its true color, but it's pretty and it has its own personality. So you definitely want even simple things that are simply done to be beautiful. So we are going to put this together now. I always start with one of the seed beads, and we're going to use one of the tiny little seed beads that are the greeny blue or the blue green, depending on how you look at it. And so this part is important. You see the thread up here, and it's through the needle. And when we slide it, we have to bring it through the thread so it creates a knot. So you just pull it And obviously anything that is left, if you get it in right the first time, you just trim with a pair of scissors afterwards. So again, we're going to try to do this to where y'all can see it. I'm going to go through it, and then, like I'm making a knot, and slide it. And that at this point it is not to fully finish the lock. That's just kind of to give you a little bit of give when you pull it. And then you're going to do it one more time through the bead wrap and pull. Now you've got to decide which way you want your piece at the top to sit, because it is going to be the top piece, and you really want to examine the shape, and you know whichever piece you want at the bottom and the top. The top you put it on first so it's near the bead that you just put on, and because of the shape of this, it's kind of a slight teardrop. I want the slight point to go toward the top. Okay. I seem to have pulled it a little too much, but that's okay. Slips and mistakes happen. Just remember, you can take your needle back through if you need to, if something didn't work right the first time. You don't even have to stop what you're doing to do that. So, here we go again. Always try to go the same direction. And make sure you do definitely take that second go through and knot it as well, because that is it causes a slight anchor. It's not going to hold it all the way just yet. So we have the top portion, which will sit like that, and this is where you decide on how you want the pattern in the middle between the top piece and the bottom piece to go. You want your bottom piece to be able to sit on the opposite side of your book, or whatever you're using it for, to make sure it doesn't budge. So we are going to make sure we make these a little longer. I did make a small one for display. It's not the same as I'm working on right now, but obviously it's smaller. It has an ornate copper heart with an AB red seed bead, and as you can see, they're all throughout it. And those are copper colored seed beads with cat's eyes, not tiger's eyes. Those are cat's eye beads, which means they're glass beads with a copper kind of little patinaed heart on the bottom. I thought it was really pretty, and I wanted it to be something that you'd be able to see very well, so so what I'm going to do now is I am going to come down to my beading pad and pick up one more of the green blue beads, and just adds a little more before I put the amber bead on. Sorry. Okay, so I put the amber bead on. And now I would suggest maybe 5 of the seed beads and then another amber bead. You pick a number. I like 5 when I'm doing things like this. 3, 5, 7. They're all pretty common numbers when I'm working on something that is just kind of A-line, that's not designed with little intricacies. So very carefully set them on your needle. And you pretty much just count until it's done. So we are going to continue this. You really want to pay close attention to your beads. They don't have to be perfect, but you do want them close in size and not too much wider than each other when you're, well, the like beads. Obviously, I chose a small seed bead and I chose a larger seed bead, and that's fine, but you want to make sure that the seed beads sit well and seat together well. So it's okay if it looks a little wobbly at first. This is not the only time you're going to put a string through it. I personally, if I'm going to put it together, it's going to stay together, so I'm very careful about how many times I go through. Obviously, little tiny needles, when you're using bigger beads, you can definitely put it through several times, which will make it stiffer, but it'll also make sure you don't break it nearly as easy. So on and so forth. I would definitely look at your common book size and probably go with that or your largest book. Radio edit. Okay, definitely, it's getting there. It might be a little slow to start sometimes. Well, I'm not used to talking and trying to show people. So, even I'm a little slower. And I've been doing this for many years. I think we're going to do another repetition about 2 or 3 times. And then I'll show you how to get the bottom on and go ahead and bring it back up to the top. Another 3 times. So this isn't exactly, I mean, you could use it in a smaller book, but definitely want to make sure it's going to fit what you have in mind, or if you're making it for somebody else, making sure that it'll fit what you have in mind for them too. So, we take 1 of the green blue beads and we take it through the loop and pass it back through the bead and pull. That'll also keep the bead sitting properly. And it'll make it less, especially if the bottom piece is a little heavier, it'll keep it from slipping down while you're trying to get it through the other beads. And this part is pretty simple. You go through every single bead, slowly but surely. I would definitely go a few beads at a time because you don't want to put your string on the other side of the bead and then notice way later that something went awry. It definitely can happen. So again, just put it through a few and pull and repeat until you get to the top. And if this happens, this is not a big deal. See, it just snagged the beads. Don't freak out. So I'm going to finish bringing it up. And you can examine to make sure that the string is solidly through the beads you are putting it through. And then we continue up. Whatever you do, don't let it get wrapped around your arm because that can be a little difficult too. Definitely should not stress anything or worry while you're doing this. You should definitely take the time and just enjoy it and let your creative side come through. So it's very difficult doing this way. I have to admit, but everybody always asks me to show them how to do things, so I figured this would be an easy way. Now we're all the way through, and from bottom to top there's a double line through it now. So we go through the top bead, and we can knot it here. And we can put it back through the top bead. And this is where I usually knot it again. Right at the base, right below the top of the top focal piece. The part that's gonna hold it in place at the top of the book so it doesn't go sliding. Fireline sometimes likes to get tangled, but it is actually very easy to untangle. Just don't let it worry you too much if you're choosing to use Fireline. See? It untangled pretty easy. And that's another reason why I probably really like Fireline. It's strong. And it's pretty easy to handle. It goes through my needles. And so we're going to put another knot. We're just going to wrap it around that side of the bead. Let's see. Without, well, just like you're going to twist it around, but twist it halfway and then pull it through the string so you can make another knot right at the base of the top. And for extra measure, if you would like, you can put it through again into the bottom and do the exact same thing and then pull it a few beads through. You really want to pull it a few beads through after you knot it. It definitely does help. You want to pull it nice and tight downward. And it would seem somebody ran off with my scissors. So anyways, at this point, you can dispose of the rest of the string, or you can go all the way through again, and at that very bottom bead, you can bring it all the way around the loop, bring it back through the small tiny bottom bead, do another knot, and bring it up. Feed it through a few more beads, and it'll definitely be strong. Okay, now the ring's on the bottom, and I'll show you how I did this. I am dismantling the top so you can see. First things first. Yes, I know I'm doing this a little backwards. I used aventurine, and it's a head pin. I chose gold. Then my little flower, my little trumpet flower, just feeds right into it through the hole. And the bead, you want the bead to sit firmly inside. And then I took the little leaf and just gently sat it on for a little more personality. And then my trusted beading pliers. I probably have like 20 pairs. So we take and we feed this through, and you want to start to bend it around, but you want to make sure this stays inside. So I usually hang it upside down so it hooks it, so it can just hold on. And you can definitely work on it here however you want the bottom to be, whether you want it to be a little ring with the ring sitting in it. But what you do, you want to make sure the metal is touching itself. If it's touching itself, you usually don't have to worry about whether it's going to come apart or not. It should be just fine unless somebody actually pulls on it hard. So that's how you get it. See, there's the circle. I used my round tip pliers for this, and they work really well because you can get a smaller ring or a larger ring. And I'll tell you about here, that's an average size ring that I work with, so it also makes it easy to make my own jump rings. So that is how you make a bookmark. I hope y'all enjoy, and I will definitely be making more videos. I hope y'all have a blessed day.